Good evening and thank you for joining us. Tonight we bring you a detailed account centered on Tommaso Cioni, the husband of Annie Guthrie and the son-in-law of Nancy Guthrie, who disappeared from her home in Tucson on January 31st. Nancy Guthrie is the mother of television journalist Savannah Guthrie, making Cioni Savannah Guthrie's brother-in-law. Recent public attention has focused on Cioni following media reporting and commentary about his possible connection to the investigation, alongside information drawn from social media posts, interviews, and online biographies that describe his personal life, creative work, and professional background. Authorities, however, have not confirmed that he is a suspect or person of interest, and no accusations of wrongdoing have been made against either Cioni or Annie Guthrie in connection with the disappearance, which is also under investigation by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. At the center of the coverage is Annie Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie's daughter, who is married to Tommaso Cioni. Annie has publicly referred to her husband in past interviews and online posts, including describing him as a great manifester and a poet. Her Facebook page contains numerous images of him, some dating back several years, including a photograph of Cioni standing in a snowy landscape that remains highlighted on her profile, despite being 6 years old. Another image from 2021 shows him holding berries during a hike. Much of Annie Guthrie's social media presence focuses on her writing and poetry, a discipline she has said she shares with her husband. The renewed focus on Cioni follows allegations raised by journalist Ashley Banfield, who has stated that Cioni may be a suspect or person of interest in Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. That claim was subsequently reported by media outlets, including TMZ. However, law enforcement officials have not confirmed that Cioni is being examined in that capacity. During a news conference held on February 3rd, the Pima County Sheriff declined to provide detailed answers about multiple aspects of the case. When asked whether a ransom note existed, something TMZ also reported on, the sheriff said he would not comment. When questioned about whether Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, which occurred after a dinner with Annie Guthrie on January 31st, was random or targeted, the sheriff stated that investigators do not yet know. TMZ also reported that it remains unclear whether Tommaso Cioni was present at that final dinner with Annie Guthrie. The outlet further stated that Annie Guthrie's car had been towed, though authorities have not confirmed that information. Despite the public speculation generated by such reports, officials have made clear that neither Cioni nor Annie Guthrie has been accused of any wrongdoing in connection with the case. Beyond the circumstances of the investigation, attention is turned to previously published interviews and online material describing Tommaso Cioni's background and interests. Annie Guthrie confirmed that Cioni is her husband in an interview with Women's Quarterly Conversation. In that same piece, Annie Guthrie was described as a writer and jeweler from Tucson and the marketing director at the University of Arizona Poetry Center, where she had recently curated a national symposium titled Poetry Off the Page. The symposium was described as featuring poets who work in hybrid, multimedia forms and in other art forms, including film, theater, book arts, and dance. In the interview, Annie Guthrie spoke directly about her relationship with her husband. She said that Tommaso Cioni is her greatest teacher and again referred to him as a great manifester, adding that he writes poetry with his lifestyle. Public records list Cioni as being 50 years old. A separate post on social media, shared by another account, stated that Nancy Guthrie was last seen by her daughter Annie Guthrie and Annie's boyfriend, Tommaso Cioni, and added that Annie and Cioni had purchased a $600,000 home the previous year located 10 minutes away from Nancy Guthrie's residence. Additional online profiles have described Cioni's involvement in music. He is listed as playing bass and providing vocals for a Tucson-based band identified as Reverb Nation. According to an online biography for that group, the band began working on several pieces that one of its members, Walter Gonsalves, had started composing before meeting the others. The songs were described as grungier than those on the band's debut release, titled Life, Love, Left, Murder. The biography further states that the band played shows locally in Tucson and at times in Phoenix and Flagstaff, sharing stages with mostly local acts and some national ones, including the Prids, Liars, and A Place to Bury Strangers. The same account notes that the band members first met in 2007 through newspaper and online advertisements. Social media posts have also indicated that Cioni has worked as a teacher. One Facebook post refers to him as teaching sixth grade and advanced placement biology and states that he was in his fifth year teaching at Basis Oro Valley, working with students ranging from preteens to young adults. In that post, he was quoted as expressing a love for nature and cooking and wrote that he still forages for mushrooms in Italy. He described himself in a joking manner as a rock star, said that he writes poetry in Italian, and noted that he had traveled to Costa Rica. In the same message, he added that he enjoys being able to share his passion for learning with his students. Family photographs shared online have also become part of the public record being discussed. A photo posted on Nancy Guthrie's Facebook page shows Cioni and Annie Guthrie wearing matching pajamas alongside Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's husband, and their children. Over the years, both Annie and Savannah Guthrie have spoken publicly about having a close relationship. The family also includes a brother, Cameron Guthrie, who has been identified as a retired F 16 pilot. Annie Guthrie's Facebook page contains numerous images of her family and reflections on her poetry, including many photographs featuring Tommaso Cioni. In one post, she wrote about the quality of presence in the world, feeding dreams, intentions, and creative work, and referenced what she described as an oracular methodology that reviews principles of integrated attention and contemplative life as art-bearing practices. Other photos show Annie and Cioni spending time in Italy, and posts indicate that they have a child together. In June of 2021, Annie Guthrie shared a birthday message to her husband, writing that he was her one and only Cioni. She has also posted images of her mother, including one showing Nancy Guthrie with her son, accompanied by a message calling her beloved mama and bright North Star and wishing her a happy Mother's Day. In another post, Annie wrote that she and Cioni did not intend to match so closely while wearing winter jackets, and in yet another, she used the word fireworks to caption a photograph of the two of them drinking wine together. Nancy Guthrie herself was active on Facebook as recently as January 27th, just days before her disappearance was reported. As investigators continue to look into the circumstances surrounding Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, public attention remains fixed both on the official statements from law enforcement and on the background information emerging about members of her family and those closest to her. In the next part of our report, we will continue with a detailed account drawn strictly from the same source material, examining further information related to Tommaso Cioni, Annie Guthrie, and the ongoing investigation as this story continues to unfold.